I found a camera hidden in my hotel room. True story. On September 15th, 2023, a woman checked into a hotel room in Savannah, Georgia for a 3-night business trip. On the second night, she found a tiny camera lens hidden inside the smoke detector directly above her bed. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was what she found when she pulled the smoke detector off the ceiling. Behind it, taped to the back, was a small wireless transmitter, and the transmitter was warm. Not old warm, active warm. Someone was watching the live feed right now. She was being watched, and she had been since the moment she walked in. This is a true story, and after you hear it, you will never look at a hotel room the same way again. Megan Cross was 31 years old. She worked as a pharmaceutical sales representative based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Her job required her to travel constantly. She spent roughly 200 nights a year in hotels. She had stayed in every type of hotel, from luxury resorts to budget motels. She knew hotels the way most people know their own homes. She had a routine. Every time she checked into a new room, she would unpack her bag first. Then she would set up her laptop on the desk. Then she would check the bathroom, making sure everything was clean. Then she would pull back the bed sheets because she read somewhere that you should always check hotel sheets before sleeping in them. Megan was thorough, organized, careful by nature. She was the kind of person who read every review before booking anything. She had never had a problem at a hotel, not once in 6 years of constant travel. That changed in Savannah. The hotel was called the Winslow. It was a mid-range boutique hotel in the historic district near the river. It had good reviews, clean rooms, friendly staff, a classic southern charm feel with exposed brick walls and antique furniture in the lobby. Megan checked in at around 4 p.m. on a Friday. The front desk clerk was a man named Dale Hoffman. He was in his mid-40s, average height, stocky build. He had a round face with small, dark eyes that sat a little too close together. He smiled at Megan when she checked in, and it was a normal smile, but something about the way his eyes moved made her feel briefly uncomfortable. He told her she was in room 214, second floor, end of the hallway. He said it was one of their best rooms, a corner room, very private, very quiet. He emphasized the word private twice. Megan didn't think much of it at the time. She took her key card and went upstairs. Room 214 was nice. It had a queen bed with white linens, a small desk by the window, a bathroom with a glass shower, exposed brick on one wall, a large window overlooking a courtyard. Megan did her usual routine, unpacked, set up her laptop, checked the bathroom, pulled back the sheets. Everything was clean. Everything was fine. She worked for a few hours, ordered room service for dinner, watched some TV, took a shower, got into bed, fell asleep. The first night was completely normal. Nothing unusual happened. The second night is when everything changed. Megan had meetings all day on Saturday. She got back to the hotel around 7 p.m. She was tired. She ordered food again, changed into comfortable clothes, sat on the bed watching TV. At some point, she looked up at the ceiling. She didn't know why. Something just made her look up. Later, she said it felt like instinct, like something in her subconscious told her to look. The smoke detector was directly above the bed, mounted on the ceiling. It was the standard round white kind you see in every hotel room, but something about it looked wrong. Megan stared at it for a long time. She couldn't figure out what was bothering her. It looked like every other smoke detector she had ever seen. Then she saw it. There was a tiny hole in the center of the smoke detector. Not a normal hole, not part of the design. A small, perfectly round hole about the size of a pinhead. And behind that hole there was something reflective, something that caught the light when she shifted on the bed. A lens. Megan's stomach dropped. She stood up on the bed and got close to the smoke detector. She put her face inches from it and looked directly into the pinhole. Behind it she could see a tiny glass lens, like the lens of a phone camera but smaller. It was pointed directly downward, directly at the bed. Megan's hands were shaking. Her mind was racing. She grabbed the smoke detector and twisted it. It came off the ceiling easily, too easily, like it had been removed and replaced many times before. On the back of the smoke detector, held in place with black electrical tape, was a small device, a tiny circuit board with a wireless transmitter and a micro camera. The device had a small battery pack attached, and the battery pack was warm, not leftover warm, actively running warm. The device was on. It was transmitting right now. Someone was watching her room, live, right now. Megan got off the bed. She put the smoke detector with the device on the desk. She grabbed her phone and called 911. Then she did something that took incredible composure. She did not touch anything else in the room. She did not pack her bags. She did not open drawers or check other spots. She stood by the door and waited for the police, because she understood that the entire room was now a crime scene. 2 officers arrived within 20 minutes. Megan showed them the device. One officer examined it while the other called for a detective. The detective arrived about 40 minutes later. A woman named Detective Sandra Price. She was experienced, calm. She had seen cases like this before, but she told Megan later that what they found in room 214 was worse than anything she had encountered. Detective Price and a forensic technician swept the entire room with detection equipment. They found 3 more devices. One was behind the bathroom mirror, a pinhole camera embedded in the frame pointing at the shower and the bathroom counter. It had a clear, unobstructed view of anyone using the bathroom. One was inside the cable box on the dresser, a small camera hidden among the circuit boards pointing outward through a vent hole in the cable box casing. It had a wide-angle view of the entire bedroom. The third one was the one that disturbed Detective Price the most. It was inside the electrical outlet next to the bed. The outlet plate had been replaced with a modified version that contained a micro camera behind one of the screw holes. The camera was positioned at bed height, inches from where someone would sleep. It pointed directly at the pillow area. 4 cameras, 4 angles, every part of the room covered. The bathroom, the bed from above, the full room from the dresser, and an intimate close-up view from inches away at pillow height. Someone had set up a complete surveillance system inside this hotel room, and based on the battery levels and the wear on the tape holding the devices, the detective estimated they had been there for months, possibly longer. The wireless transmitters were all connected to the same frequency. They were transmitting to a receiver somewhere nearby, somewhere within about 200 feet. The police traced the signal. It led to a laptop in the back office of the hotel, behind the front desk, in a room that only hotel employees had access to. The laptop was logged in and running. On the screen were 4 video feeds, 4 quadrants, each showing a different angle of room 214. The feeds were being recorded to an external hard drive connected to the laptop. The hard drive contained over 400 hours of footage, months of recordings, dozens of different guests, men, women, couples, all of them recorded without their knowledge, all of them in the most private moments of their lives. The laptop was registered to Dale Hoffman, the front desk clerk, the man who checked Megan in, the man who told her room 214 was very private. Dale was arrested at his apartment 2 hours later. He did not resist. When the officers arrived, he was sitting in his living room watching the live feeds from room 214 on his phone. Even though Megan was no longer in the room and police were processing it, he was still watching. The investigation revealed that Dale had been working at the Winslow for 3 years. He had installed the cameras himself during overnight shifts when the hotel was quiet. He specifically assigned certain guests to room 214, mostly women traveling alone. He chose them at check-in based on appearance. He had been doing this for at least 18 months. Dale Hoffman was charged with multiple counts of unlawful surveillance. The hard drive contained recordings of over 60 different guests. The hotel was shut down for investigation and later reopened under new management. Megan Cross did not stay in a hotel for 3 months after that night. When she finally did start traveling again, she brought her own detection equipment, a small RF detector that scans for wireless transmitters. She said in an interview that the thing that haunts her most is not the cameras, it is not the footage, it is not even knowing that Dale watched her. It is the first night. The first night when she slept peacefully, when she felt safe, when she closed her eyes and drifted off in that bed not knowing that 4 cameras were recording every second. She said that feeling of safety was stolen from her. She trusted that room. She trusted that bed. She trusted the lock on the door. And the entire time she was being watched from 4 different angles by a man sitting 20 feet away behind the front desk. She said the worst part is that she will never feel truly alone in a hotel room again. Every smoke detector, every mirror, every outlet, every cable box. She checks them all now, every single time. And she said something that stuck with me. She said most people think privacy means closing the door, but privacy is an illusion. You only have privacy if no one is watching. And the terrifying truth is you almost never know for sure whether someone is or isn't. The next time you check into a hotel room, I want you to try something. Look up at the smoke detector. Really look at it. Get close. Look for a pinhole. Look for anything reflective behind it. Then check the mirror. Check the outlets. Check the cable box. Check the clock. Check anywhere a tiny lens could be hidden, because Megan checked, and she found 4 cameras in one room. 60 guests before her didn't check, and they never knew. If this story made you want to inspect every hotel room you ever stay in again, subscribe, because the next story involves something much worse than cameras. Stay safe, check your room, and remember, just because the door is locked doesn't mean you are alone.